Welcome to the last week of this semester. In wrapping this course up, you'll notice the reading deals with some really practical elements of teaching. Things like setting up your classroom, communicating with parents, and even these issues have been informed by psychology. Like I mentioned in one of the earlier weeks, when you think about a classroom from 120 years ago, you often think of students sitting in rows with a teacher lecturing in front of the class while the students take notes. And we just don't really have a setup like that anymore. Why? Well, one of the reasons is we want students to engage with each other and to better engage with us. So that's why you'll see classrooms that are set up with pods of students or a U type of a setup so that it's a little bit more open for Socratic discussions. And if you think about it, all those different classroom environments have been informed by a lot of the things that we've learned over the course of this semester. And just a couple quick notes. I know you're going to be taking classroom management either currently or in the future, and but I did want to point out a couple things that I have learned over the years. And one of them is setting up your classroom is really helpful in better managing students. So when you have rows, what's really problematic is you have kids in the middle of the class that are really hard to reach and get to, number one, if they need help, but also if they're disturbing your class. And one of the biggest tools that you have in your tool belt as a teacher to assist with behavior management is proximity. By being closer to students, it manages behavior. In fact, quite often, I don't even need to say anything. If I have a student that's off task, I continue teaching and I wander close to that student and continue working with the class near that student that's off task, and it often eliminates the problem. That's why I'm not a big fan of teaching behind a podium. We all use it from time to time, and we certainly stand there at the start and stop of class. But if you were to watch me teach a lot of my class, I'm wandering around. Even when we're having a discussion or I'm giving a brief lecture or something, I'm not always standing up front. I'm actually moving around, and I do that to keep my students accountable to work without even having to use words, by simply using proximity. And so as you go forward with this class this week, I'm asking you to think about classroom setup and what a good classroom setup would look like. And I think the question you have to ask is, what kind of teacher do you see yourself becoming? Who do you want to be, and what would a normal class look like? And then how can you craft an environment that is going to be fitting for that type of learning? So hope you enjoy thinking about it this week. And also, of course, you're wrapping up this paper. And if you have any questions in the next few days, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks.